Hi, this is Paul Inch from the Tank Model channel with my update on the Sturmtiger from Tamiya 148 scale, number 32591. Really nice build. I really enjoyed it. Obviously I still prefer 135th because you've got that extra size that gives you a little bit more chance with some of the details if you want to add them. But I think I've done a reasonable job with this, so I'm quite pleased with that. And I'll run through quickly some modifications I've made and also talk about the fitter parts. The fitter parts, basically, as I said before, is really excellent. I don't think you have any problem with that. Anyone could build this kit straight out of the box and they'd be left with an excellent model of a Sturmtiger in 148 scale. And of course, being this scale, if they'd started off this instead of 135th, you'd have had a lot more room on your shelf for other kits. But anyway, I still like 135th because of the size anyway. So, and 160th even better. But as I said, in regards to shelves, the size of the shelf, people be filling them up so quickly with just about 2 vehicles would cover God knows how many 135th. Anyway, back to this model. What I've done here, and I'll just like to point straight to it. It's got the weight on it. The counterbalance weight for the gun is actually on there. Some vehicles didn't have them, and some did. I've put it on there. It's not. That's the only thing that's not glued on there now. It's basically left loose to me to make a decision whether I want to use it or not. So that's still there. But the modification I made there, if you remember last time in the video, if you saw that, that was all solid plastic in there for the actual driver's vision ports, or blocks as we like to call them. What I've done is I've took a micro drill, drilled out that using a drill that was near enough the size of the actual plastic segments, drilled through. Then I actually cut them out with a nice, very pointy, sharp scalpel to get them squared off. And once that was done, that's all I need to do now until the end of the paint job and all the weathering. And then what I will do then is go in there, run a bit of black inside the borders, and then drop some micro crystal clear into it to give you the glass elements. And that will look really good. And that's what we'll be doing on the portholes on the actual Corvette as well. So that'd be quite good. So that's that. So that was done. A little fiddle again, but it was worth the job. And it will look much better with a bit of glazing in there as well. Moving around to this side. And you can see now I've actually got the lamp in place, so nearly every bits on the actual kit is already in place. The lamp's there. I was going to put a cable to it, but there actually is a cable designed on the side that goes down and attaches to the body anyway, so it looks like it goes into the end of the body. The wire goes straight into via that plate, so I didn't have to add that, which was nice. In regards to the brackets, these are all on now, and there's 6 in total, 3 on either side, and 2 smaller versions of them on the back plate, as you'll see when we get to it. They were actually finned down. I put them in and glued them in place, but I actually finned down the top part of the bracket, so basically it looks more in scale because they are rather thick. And the easy way I found to do that was when you see them, they're on a sprue and they're all in a row. So I cut the sprue off that they're on, laid them to one side in my hand, and then got a flat sanding stick and lightly rubbed over the actual bracket area, very lightly. Let the sanding stick do the job, and if you go nice and smoothly, you'll end up losing the thickness without damaging anything, and without putting any pressure on it as well. And do that. And I did the same for the other two. I cut a small little bit of sprue that they was on and did exactly the same, and I ended up with the same sort of thickness. And it does make them a little bit better. I am going to put a little bit of cable, like it's on the book cover I've got. I'm going to use the colour scheme that they used on the actual Sturmtiger book that I've got, and I'll show you quickly. It's there, basically this one. I'm going to do that actual camouflage scheme, so I think it looks nice, and I think that person actually took it from a photograph anyway, so it's going to look the part for that, and I'm quite happy with that. So I've done that. Oh, you can see I've added all the tools now. They're all in place now. I was going to go for the photo etch brackets, but you know, in this scale, I thought with a little bit of weather and a bit of wear around there, it's going to look quite nice as they are. So I've actually went with that. Now we're moving on to the engine deck. Now the engine deck, you can see the grills are in place now. I'll turn it slightly. You see the engine grills in place. Now there were some modifications I've done on in regards to using the old Dremel again, which is not a Dremel. You see the yellow tool that I had. I can't remember the name of it. I've got it here. I have a quick look so I can tell you the right name of the tool. It's in my little case. I keep the power circuit on the desk, but there you go. It's called Rotorcraft. It's a yellow one, and I did do a little review on it as well, so that if you want to see the review on the Rotorcraft, which is acts like a small Dremel, It's really good. Swisher's got a better one in some ways because he's got a very small fingering one, a bit better for hand, but I found that this is not much bigger, so it worked really well for me. Again, it's down to personal choice, so whatever tool you have. I've got one of the larger Dremels as well, but it just felt too big in the hand to actually do this sort of work. Ideal for large work in a workshop, but not so good for the fiddly stuff I was doing. So, but what I did with the Dremel is these are protective armour plates that go around the exhaust rails and housings. Is I actually thinned the top half down, went down to about a half inch going in, and running the Dremel tool round to get a nice thin layer at the top. And it does add a lot of definition to it, so it's really worth doing. And you've got to go careful, make sure you don't take it too much away. I could have used the etch set, but I decided to go with that. So, and that's what I did there. You can also see all the etchings in place. That was taken from the photo etch set, which I did have at hand earlier on. And oh, here it is. It's an Edward set, and it was designed for the Tamiya's 1/48 scale Tiger 1 early kit. But if you wanted to get this for it, but it's a bit expensive for what it is, for what I used it on. But I'm going to keep the parts anyway, because new etch parts are really handy to keep. So it's 28007. That was for the Tiger early 1/48 scale build. So I've got a load of spare bits there left over. What else was there? Oh, what I will say, the front one, these ones fitted perfectly, both sides. These ones I had to modify slightly by cutting some of the wire mesh away to allow it to get round this device, which releases the actual housing for maintenance. So I've actually trimmed it down. It looks better than what it would do if it didn't have the mesh there, I've got to be honest, and it is really, really handy. Now, if I turn slightly, I don't know if this is going to show up. Oh, it does actually. Now you can see now I've done the crane. The crane does move. It does move. I made it move in, and I played with that for quite a while, and I managed to finish that most of it last night, and finished putting the actual holder for the shell, which the crane comes around and drops it down through these double doors when they're open to reload the vehicle with shells. It can hold, I think it's 13 or 12 shells it can hold, so not many when you think about it, but the destructive power each one was massive, so I suppose that's what it's all about. And this vehicle would have been protected by other vehicles anyway. Right, anyway, so going back up, so what did I do? I wanted to do the actual line, because it's not on the kit, it's not even represented in plastic, so I decided to have a line. So what I did is to doing the line, if you excuse me, I'll just get there. I used some challenge match fishing line, and here she is. That's the one I used, £4, and it's 0.17, so it's very fine and thin. And once it's painted a bit of metal colour later on, it would look the part. And it's meant to be wire anyway. In that scale, it won't notice you. It look really nice. So, and good thing is, it will take £4. It's a £4 strain, so that's pretty good. So it should take the shell size. I'm only joking in this scale. Right. Anyway, so that's what I use, and it is fine. I don't know if I can get some out. Well, you can see it's fine. No, I've got. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it should be. You won't even see it. I use it for planes as well, so you can't even see it. But anyway, you can see it's fine on the model itself. So what I had to do though is drill a hole up through where the cable goes up, drill a hole across this bar that you can see there through level, and come across to that roller, and then drill down the other side of that roller, coming down and drilling again into the top of the actual winch itself, the winch mechanism, to have a cable going down into that. So it's all there, and there's no way I can actually show. I don't know, this might show because it's got a bit of blue background. Excuse this is a cup holder, but it might do it. It might show it if you can look fair, but you can see what I mean. This here, the actual loop, was made out of an old KP peanut jar. I don't know if... Oh, no, it wasn't. No, sorry. Yeah, it was. It was a peanut jar. It's basically the small bottles... the containers they come in. They've got a sealed top plate, circular. And I use it for quite a bit, but it's quite stiff. You could use it for fenders and all, I suppose, as well. Anything, really. But I used that, and I leveled, flattened it out, and then cut a strip. And then I looped it round a pencil of a more or less approximate size, and then compressed it onto the cable. And I'm happy with that. I mean, it could have been more detailed, but at the end of the day, I'm only going to represent it, so it looks the part. I'm not, and to me, it does look the part. It's just a case that it's not an exact replica of the original. Now, I think that they were actually made out. That bit was actually made out of thick leather, I'm presuming, or some sort of material that's very strong. Obviously, it's got to be quite strong. So I shall be trying to find out a decent colour for that. But if not, I'll just leave it sort of a similar, a leathery shade anyway. No, I can always alter it later. But as I said, real pleased with the winch, but a little bit of advice for building it. If you want this to swing round further over the engine deck, which I'd like to have done, this bit here, if I move that, the actual handle is quite large. If I put it round a bit more, you'll see what I mean. It's quite large, so it would, when they round that way, loading it up, to turn that winch round and round. Now, it's in that position, I can only move it round so far, but if I'd have put that handle coming out, what I regard as a non-natural position to be in, outwards, it would actually have turned completely over the vehicle to actually drop it in. Remember, this winch can go up and down a little bit as well. It's got a bit compressional, but it doesn't come in the kit. So really, but I'm happy. It looks the part, and it's better than not having it there at all. So, bit of work involved in that, very fiddly. The drills I used to actually drill the holes into that was these little babies, and these are the size is 0.5, and there's 10 blades in this box. I bought a block of these, and so I've got loads. I can snap them all day long and last mode. But really nice, 0.5, very fine, but it did the job. There you go. So that was that, and carry on round. Here we go. You can see the rear engine deck is completely with its tools and bits and pieces. We've even got the actual towing devices on the back here, the actual where they put the hooks into these and hook it into another cable to actually give you the quick way of attaching and towing another vehicle. There's only one on this particular vehicle. Normally you'd find two, one on either side of most vehicles, or and especially Panthers and Tigers as well. But this one's only got the one. But normally with a tow vehicle coming up behind you, they most probably bring they'd have those on board anyway. Because remember, they actually built another version of this vehicle. Apart from the Sturmtiger, there was the actual Bilge Tiger, which basically is the recovery vehicle for these particular vehicles. There you go. So that's okay. So you can see what I mean by that. I think that looks quite nice now. I don't know whether you can see the leads, but there is a cable running all the way. It's one cable up through there, down through all these holes, and back down to this bit here. So quite happy with that. And the tools on this side, you can see the tools are all in place as well. So if I pull that back round to finish it off like that, there you go. So really happy. So I'll be painting this up soon. I'm going to be doing a primer coat. The roof, I'll do this quickly. This actually still comes off, because it allows me to paint it all completely by spraying it, so you can see it comes off, and then there'll be no paint where I need to attach it. There's only 2 points to attach it, along the front here, because there's a solid place to do it, and down the back. So I only need to attach it in 2 places, and that'll be permanently in place. I don't think I not mentioned earlier on, but there is a periscope there which will be made out of thick plastic card, that's clear plastic card, and then I'll shape it with a sanding stick, and then basically paint it black, and then silver first, then black, and then I already have had a bit of tape over there to leave the actual clear visor bit, the clear periscope part clear, and then that will be popped into there before I glue it in place. So I'll have glass in the front here, perspex in the front here, and perspex there, crystal clear there, and a clear periscope made of plastic card there, clear plastic card there. So it's going to look quite nice, I think, once it's finished, hopefully. The painting can go wrong, but hopefully it won't. So there you go. So that's my progress so far, and that is basically the build complete. And now I'm just going to start getting into the actual process of painting and weathering. And as you can see, and I'm going to pop the camera up now, sorry about this, it's going to go up slightly, but that's the sort of scheme I'm going to go for, and I'm going to most probably use the same scheme that's on the front of this vehicle, because I quite like it, and I think that the artist obviously took it from from photographs that he's seen, and it does look very similar to some of the other schemes anyway. So thank you very much for watching. Oh, you can see the rifling quite nicely in this, and this has got rifling in it, which is nice. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this is intrigued you enough to want to build a 1/48 scale model from Tamiya, or any other company to come to that, because it doesn't matter about Tamiya. But Tamiya, as you know, is well, I think everyone says shake and bake, but you can always take it that little bit further, which is what I've done. So, and this was very cheap to make, fit a fishing line and a bit of that foil, like I said. But there is a photo etch one which looks very nice, but it most probably be fiddly, but it's be worth a go. But my idea, just to do it that way, was a quick and easy fix, and it does give it that representation of the crane winch that it was used to load the vehicle. So thank you very much for watching now, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully the next time you see this, she'll be primed up and undercoated and with a bit of paint on her. So thank you very much. See you on the next one. Bye.